your host. Today we're going to talk about this. This is a 1972 Fender Telecaster. It has had days, better days, and it had great days, and it has bad days. But it's been a good guitar. I mean, for this year long, it's 51 years old. And like I said, this one has been played very well, and I'm a big fan of it. I have a little problem sometimes with the chunky neck, because it does have a very thick neck. It has more of a V shape, and for that 70s, years ago, someone had carved all this out inside underneath here, down, which they had at one time 2 humbuckers for a Nashville Tele, which was great playing, which I still have the pickups and all, but I put it back to original. The only thing that's missing is that front cover plate. A lot of people during the years, they didn't want that metallic, like sound that the Telecaster gave during the 80s. So what they would do is they'd heat the wax up on top of this, on the pickup, and they'd take it off and they would leave it open to give it more of a growl feel, if they can give a little bit more. This one here, this is original, like on this thing. The tuners are not original, and the pick guard's not original, and the pots are not original. Now the pickups are original, but the pick guard's not. It did have the original 3-way switch. It could use a little bit better, you could tell the difference in the tone. Because it's not that, it just needs to be raised up a little bit. I put the original bridge back on it because the owner I got it from took the bridge off, put a new bridge on, new control plate, all that stuff. At one time it had more of like EMG pickups, so that's why it does have the little cut in the back for a battery plate or a battery to go into. They did that to make it easier. I don't understand that, because like I said, it might have been just easier to just take 2 screws out, change the battery and go, but people are people, and they do what they want to do, and they change and modify guitars. We all do it. That guitar right there didn't come with that setup. It came with a HSS pickup system. Couldn't stand it. I usually don't like the thin sound of the single coils, so I usually switch over to something more of like these myself here. Oh, let me see. Something like these, like hot rails or mini humbuckers. So, like I said, I'll do a video on this guitar. This is a Dave Murray from Iron Maiden, and I do like a Floyd Rose. I've got quite a few of them, love them. And but for a good sounding Tele, I just like this one. This is a natural finish. Ashtray bridge, which I do have the ashtray somewhere around here that gets that more country looking look to it. It has been a good guitar since I've had it. I've had it for a little while. I traded a 1979, what was it, a hardtail Stratocaster for it. It had the same kind of neck, so I'm usually a thinner neck person, but for chicken picking and stuff, and I'm also playing today through a Pro Reverb amp, Fender Pro Reverb. Usually myself, I play through Fender GTs. I have the 212s. I like that stereo sound in them. I have 2 of them. I prefer them a lot. They have about every tone I want. If I want to go heavy metal, I want to go soft, I can. But we'll talk about this a little bit. The Telecaster started out was one of the Fender's first Telecasters, or first guitars that Fender put out. Before that, Fender only put out amps. In a very short time, they decided to do their own guitars, so Leo Fender come up with this, which is the Telecaster, which is their Spanish, what they called the Spanish guitar at that time, because it had a pickup in it. Well, it went from different names. At first they started out with the Broadcaster, then the Nocaster, the Esquire, And then it finally settled on the Telecaster because television was real popular at the time. So they thought, well, let's just call it after somebody will know, you know, something that they'll get with people. And that's what they did. They came out with the Fender Telecaster. And it has been one of the most stablest. I mean, there's not many guitar players I know that did not play them. You would not think it's funny, but even with Randy Rhoads playing for Ozzy Osbourne, he still played a Telecaster on some of his stuff. So does Zakk Wylde. You name it, artist after artist played with these. You know, from Led Zeppelin to, you know, even some of the newer guys now still play Telecasters, and they're just a very stable instrument. They're hardwood, they're heavy duty, they can take a licking, and that's what everybody wanted. The country was full of them during the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You couldn't hardly see a country show without a Telecaster being the staple of the picking and stuff, because everybody loved that thin sound that they give. And like I said, this one has been a very good one to me. It, for being as old as it is, it is a player. It is something that just you can play. Well, it's just, now you can go. It does have a very good sound, good sounding pickups for being that old, and I enjoy playing with it, and I thought I'd pass it on and show y'all what's out there in the world that still can be available to anybody. These range, they differ in different prices. They can go from, I've seen them as low as $1,500 in my time to up to $4,000, $5,000 for them. This one here, since I had little problems, I've not been putting much on it, but it's one of those keepers, you know. So, like I said, I hope you like and subscribe to our channel and everything. And if you need any comments, just leave them below and we'll talk it over. Thank you.